guys, my name is Ali Games, and welcome back to Let's Play The Letter. Where we last left off, we just started Hana's story, and we finished up Isabella's story. I don't know what really happened to Isabella. The last thing that happened was that she went to work, Rose died, she saw on the news that Rose was killed, and she went to work, and we were attacked by that lady that we saw in the attic. But I don't think they really showed what happened to her afterwards. So she either is dead, she could be missing, I'm not too sure. But anyways, we are on Hana's story. I don't know what day this is. I can't remember what day. It said it at the top, but I didn't get time to look back at the footage and see what day it was. I want to say it's the 23rd, but I might be wrong. But anyways, we are playing Hana Wright. She is one of the people she's the person that really wanted to buy the house. She is the wife of Luke. So this must be where they live now, right here. Anyways, we'll keep on going. It is far too easy to get them to pay attention, enraptured. They hang on to my every word and follow my every move. All of it would have been stifling had I not grown used to such stares. Most are respectful, some are hostile, if we're honest. And a few are downright inappropriate. After all, I am...
Hana Wright!
Jesus! There's a moment of agitation as a familiar, but less than welcome face approaches me with a suggestive smirk on his face. Of course, I had to keep a benevolent smile and greet him as I greet any good friend. After all, this man can turn heads, being famous in his own right.
Officer Lee! What a pleasant surprise. I didn't think you'd have the time to attend tonight's party.
He is more Luke's friend than mine, really, and I'm quite sure I only invited his wife. Much like I am only friends with the chief inspector because of Luke. Luke is only friends with Rochelle because of me. Unlike how I treated Lee, however, Luke never hid his animosity for the lead matriarch. It was an odd sort of friendship where we would have awkward double dates. I don't even recall his first name. It started with an N, I think. I might be wrong. Aside from being Chief Inspector of Luxembourg Police, and I realized I was calling it like Luxembourg or something like that when the first episode I called it Luxembourg. Don't know why I said that. Luxembourg Police, his wife Rochelle Lee Vance owns a General Electronics company, fridges and freezers mostly.
Oh, I always have time for my favorite socialite couple. Might I say, you look positively ravishing tonight.
Thank you.
I see the husband isn't with you.
The way he eyes me up is enough to make my skin crawl. I just wish Luke is here to fend off the more unseemly of our peers. You know the ones. Men who are just a bit too friendly, staring too long at my assets, and getting close just because my husband is not here. And to think they would have the gall to do this at my own party. That's where you just like, bye. I'm done with you. Goodbye. In my own house, I might add. But like any high society woman with her salt, I know how to handle it with grace and dignity.
I suppose you are looking pleasant as well. Luke's busy with work, unfortunately. Rochelle isn't here?
He probably didn't take her.
A shame. I do hope he isn't causing you much trouble. That husband of yours can be a bit daft sometimes, acting like he's still some young bachelor. The wife sends her regards and her apologies, but something came up with a doctor and she needed to attend to it. You know her, being pregnant and all.
Okay. We make small talk. Rather, I'm forced to do so, as he would not leave my side after finding his place there. Much to my chagrin, I think that's how you say it, I've been extricated from the few who flock in hopes of flattering, for I can tolerate them far better than Lee. He is a nice enough person and I adore his wife, who is obviously the brains behind the two. But there is something unsettling about him. I do not trust him as much as I want to. He regaled to me tales of the Luxembourg Police Department, a different affair to the usual gossip I'm privy to, and though I loathe to admit it, is interesting nonetheless. Well, yeah, it's, you get to hear about really, really cool cases and shit. I expect the topic of business to die out quickly, which would be understandable enough due to the confidential nature of his work. But oh boy, was I wrong.
So, we're in civvies. I steal and drive off with one of the police mobiles, right? In the mirror, I see the mutant chasing on foot and screaming about theft. The look on his face was priceless when I parked in the garage.
In the garage.
Oh my. You made him chase you all the way home for a prank. What did Rochelle have to say about that?
Rochelle has a strange love and hate affair with Lee. He is a married man who did not grow up past his early 20s, judging by the way he acts. Surprisingly enough, they've been married for a good 20 years. Damn, dude! A lifetime, if you compare it to my marriage of 7 years with Luke. On the other hand, well, Luke is no Lee. I should be happy about that, I suppose. Although my darling did have his moments. He seems to have had his moments when you were at the house, and he was just complaining about every little thing about the fucking house.
Hey, the wife pulled my ear and gave me a good talking to, though. Besides, we live in a flat a block away, so it wasn't much of a grand chase.
Weren't you living in a house near the countryside?
Moved for work, you know. Or you probably don't.
No, I don't. But a flat in downtown. I suppose if that's what you like.
Oh, it's horrid. Hate that tiny place, no matter how convenient it can be for work. 55 square yards are not enough when you need to get away from the wife. I wouldn't mind a place
That
away
sucks
from the
for you.
city. Even started looking at the ads. I spied an interesting lot, actually. Heard it was finally put up for sale, or that something mansion. You know the one with all the ghost stories.
Oh, okay. I know what he is talking about. There are really only a few urban legends around here. It's...
The Ermagood Mansion?
That's the one. Worthy of a king it is. I'd buy it myself, but Rochelle would only gripe if I brought it up to her.
This is before they bought the mansion.
Not to mention all the
Okay.
expenses a place like that will be a real fixer-upper. You also have to find someone willing to work there with how superstitious people can be.
If it becomes a problem, just hire someone to do an exorcism.
Actually, I do know of someone who could be up to the task. You remember the Ludgates party at their Christchurch summer residence?
Of course. It was an excellent soiree. Everything was so classy, too. Such good taste.
Oh, that place was a pigsty until they hired out this interior designer and they turned it into a bloody palace.
Okay.
She worked for the Exodus for their apartment in Soho too, and they recommended her when we were looking up pieces for our beach house in Porto Colom. I think I have a business card right at... No, I must have left it in my other jacket. Anyway, she's called, what's her name? McCullough, Marianne, I believe, yes.
Okay,
But
so this
truly,
is
if
before they buy the
anyone were
house.
to get that place,
Okay.
McCullough, well, they'd be the envy and the talk of the town.
Well, if you put it that way, I might just snatch it up for myself. This place was starting to feel a bit small lately anyway.
Oh my god, really? Sure, a 3-story penthouse might not fit the definition of small for some people. That's fucking huge! That's too big. Okay, maybe a lot of people. But it isn't big enough to have grand parties in. As it is, I only invited about 30 people to this one, and it already feels cramped in here. It certainly would be nice if I didn't have to ride an elevator up and down several floors before I can get anywhere as well. All Luke's words and not mine. Besides, I've been looking for a good anniversary gift. Here, honey, I bought you a fucking mansion! Happy anniversary! Jeez. Luke might like this one. Where is he anyway? Okay, so October 21st. Okay. Alright. Hana Wright threw a party in their penthouse at the Cache. I think that's how you say it. The city's most powerful was seen, including Chief Inspector Harvey Lee of the Luxbourne Police Department. From him, the socialite heard of the Ermengarde Mansion's upcoming open house and of the interior designer Marianne McCullough. Okay. And then, so this is the open house. Okay, so we're missing like the 19th and the 20th. Okay. Luke is dressed to the nines, as he usually is, and he looks ready for whatever the day will throw at him. His butler and valet wait at his side, just in case he isn't ready as he looks. Oh sure, that is normal. What is confusing me is the fact that he is on his way out of the penthouse, considering we won't have anywhere to go until much later.
Where are you going?
I am to attend the Triad Autumn Tasting. I do believe I informed you of this 2 weeks ago.
Yes. And might I remind you that I had stricken that off your schedule? Because 1, the doctor told you to stop consuming so much alcohol. And 2, I informed you a few days ago about the open house we are going to attend in its place. I've even found this marvelous interior designer, Mary Ann McCullough.
It's a 3.5-hour drive to Cardiff. I don't have time for this.
Well, too bad.
This is like that little party you threw all over again. You don't inform me of it, and you expect me to stay and be a gracious host when I have business elsewhere. You know how I operate, Hana. Unless this was penciled in, I am sticking to my schedule.
If I may intrude, the madam is correct. Your physician did insist you moderate your drinking, unless you wish to incur acute pancreatitis.
He doesn't
And you
care.
did have this open house penciled in last Wednesday morning.
Boom.
Books. I don't remember doing so.
Well, you did. While very hungover, in fact.
He did. Moaned about me being too loud, but gave in after some pushing. Perhaps that was a bit too cruel and manipulative of me, but...
Whose side are you on?
Come on, Luke. You promised we'd do whatever I want this weekend.
Gordon Bennett, fine. I am giving this house tour of yours a chance. But if it proves to be a waste of time, I am going to Cardiff, and you are going to take a cab home.
Ah, shut up, Luke.
Are we clear?
It's just a bit of husband and wife tit for tat, isn't it? All couples have their arguments. Once the honeymoon phase is over, as they seem to call it, reality sets in that you and your partner might not always see eye to eye. Perhaps it has been the years. 7 of them is nothing to scoff at.
I just cannot bloody believe I agreed to this. I was really looking forward to the triad tasting.
I knew I should have put you in before I started. There. Now quit your whining over there. And you quit your whining too, Luke. Though sometimes I think it's something a bit more than just simple disagreements. I had to stop myself from wondering where we went wrong.
There's always the Triad Christmas tasting in Manchester next month, and that'll only be an 1.5-hour drive.
Have I been neglectful? Have I offended? Have I acted shamefully?
Yes, but Cardiff.
Certainly any problem can be discussed. As long as he doesn't turn me away.
Well, there goes my good mood. Are you happy now, Hana?
Why must he treat me this way? Oh, God. Girl, you are gonna fucking defend yourself.
Yes, I am very happy, Luke.
Oh, it went
for
up!
once in a very long time, we are doing what I want. I'm ecstatic. Understood? And this would be perfect if you stop acting like a child who needs their nappy changed. We will be leaving after lunch for the Ermengarde mansion. You are going to park your rear in the car and keep mum. And you are going to behave during the tour.
Needless to say, Luke looks a bit shocked at my little outburst. He opened and closed his mouth a few times, struggling to reply, before he crosses his arms to look like, well, a moping child.
Any more rules for this little excursion of yours, Your Highness?
No wine.
No wine.
Of either kind. No drinking wine and no whining.
Unacceptable! I am already not allowed to the tasting, and you would deprive me of that simple pleasure?
If I see you take one sip today, I will put the stocks under lock and key. Do you understand me?
Don't forget the bottles he keeps in his dresser.
Whose side are you on?
How many times in one day can you ask that?
As many times as I need you, traitor!
The ride to the mansion is quiet, with Luke having stared out the window the entire way, not paying attention to anything around him. Meanwhile, I am conflicted. I don't know if I should apologize for changing his plans like that. But by the time we arrive at the mansion and I see his eyes light up in genuine interest, apologizing is the last thing on my mind. The whole affair with the Ermengarde mansion is certainly an interesting experience. The place had been renovated and restored by the owners to what they claim to be acceptable standards. The mansion itself looks like something befitting a fairy tale or a period piece. It is tastefully decorated and, with a little bit of love and attention, I'm sure it can be a place that Luke and I can call home. And the number of other prospective buyers that have come from this powerful and wealthy of Luxburn certainly did not disappoint, right? Marking this estate as prime property. There's The ladies are amongst the group who went with the Rose woman. I saw a few other notable faces, though I did not really feel like mingling. Unfortunately for every one of them, the Wrights are interested in buying. What's been bugging my mind, however, is that Isabel. I didn't see what that did. Did it just do story update? Okay. Jeez, there's like a lot of choices. Hers seems really short compared to Isabel's, though. Like, maybe it's because, like, we've seen most of it because we saw it through Isabel's eyes. The, whole thing with the tour and everything. What is her problem? I still don't quite understand what is happening. One moment she is scrambling to give us the paperwork to finalize the sale. Then she is panicking over some sort of prank letter or another.
Dear me, is Isabel all right?
It is apparent, with the way she shakes and by the pallor of her skin, something has really shaken her up.
Isabella, do you need me to call that ambulance?
I am worried, but it will be best if she's attended by someone more familiar to her, like her partner. But even then, the girl refuses Rose's offered drink. It looks just about ready to make a run for it.
No, I'm just feeling a bit out of it. Excuse me, I'll be back. I just need to catch my breath.
And she does so, just as I predicted. And her partner follows like a concerned mother. There's an awkward air among us as we are left in the wake of whatever that was. The others murmur and gossip with each other, speaking of the poor, daft girl and telling the tale to whoever was not audience to the act in the first place. It doesn't take too long for the woman Rose to return and pull us aside into the study for what I rightfully assume is damage control. We're in the study. Rose invites Marianne in too, hoping to apologize to her as well. But the woman refuses, saying she is not one of her clients anyway. That leaves myself, Rose, and Luke. The last, all too eager to make himself comfortable in a study he's no doubt already claimed as his own.
I can't apologize enough about what just happened. Please forgive Isabella. She's been under a lot of pressure lately. She's young and all those rumors about this being haunted just got to her head.
Well, she's right.
And it must
Just
be
saying.
this terrible heat, too. Not a drop of rain for days now.
Are you sure it is wise to just let her go like that? Where is the poor dear? She might get hurt.
She's more likely to hurt somebody else, given what just happened.
I told her to sit down and take a break. Already rang someone to pick her up, too.
That might be for the best, dear.
At least she's concerned
But
about her.
please, we're here to talk about the
At
mansion.
least she's like, okay,
yes?
is she okay? Is she gonna be okay? Is she gonna get hurt?
Why, I absolutely adore it. Don't you, Luke? Some of the rooms will certainly have to be repurposed. We want to change the appliances and have Marianne lead on the decor, but the whole thing is just lovely.
I guess. It's certainly a lot roomier than our penthouse.
Exactly. Lots of space for guests, parties, a lot of room for little ones to run around too.
Let's not discuss that right now, Buttercup. Anyway, I do think
I
it
remember
would be
her
a shame
saying
to let
about,
this mansion slip past us.
Waiting for something, and I think that's it. I think she's waiting to have kids.
But you haven't even finished touring the house.
Well, we like what we've seen.
I'm making her job easier for her, don't I? No need for loans or long price negotiations. We can just sign a contract and close the deal. Really, you'd think the woman will be more happy about an easy sale. I know how these estate agents work, how long they had to wait, and how long they had to spend even just for a single sale. Why, she should be jumping for joy by now. I'm sure the commission on this mansion is nothing to sneeze at, even if she has to split it with the Isabel girl.
Huh, do you think we could have horses here?
Yes, those do sound nice, love. Anyway, if anyone else is interested in buying this property, I assure you that I'm able and willing to give a better offer.
A vineyard would be nice. Or maybe
And we do reward our people quite generously, Rose.
Yeah, we see
So
that.
if I were you, I would start on that paperwork.
helicopter pad.
I pause. And there's a small moment of complete silence where Rose and I are just staring incredulously at Luke. There's an unspoken understanding, a rule, between the two of us that we had to put on an act. With our social standing, where image starts, it is also important to avoid making enemies. and to follow this rule is an easy feat for me. From youth, I've been the well-trained social butterfly, gracious and graceful. Luke, on the other hand...
Oh, wait, what, Luke? No, what?
A helicopter pad!
Whatever would we need a helipad for?
Well, he likes to play the fool sometimes, even if he is anything but. As he throws me a wry smile, I shake my head and beckon Rose over. This is to be our home, and there is nothing she, or anyone else, can do to change my mind. This is a place that speaks of power and importance, and, at the same time, of safety and comfort. Perhaps we could even have our family here. There's definitely no better gift than this for a special date. Why, everything here is absolutely wonderful. Well, except for this ugly painting in the study. Bitch, that's not a painting! It looks like a bad fake of an Edvard Munch painting.
Here's the deal.
That's
I'm
not
willing
a
to pay
painting.
10% higher than your listing price. If anyone tries to outbid us, just add another 5%. I doubt anyone can, of course. Or, you know what? Just add 15% to the listing price, and we can sign all the paperwork now.
I guess, if that's what you want. That won't be any trouble. I don't have all the papers now. Didn't think this would be a quick sell. I'll have copies sent to you so you can look over them. And if you'd still like to finish the rest of the tour with Isabella's group, you're more than welcome to.
No, I think we're good here. We'd appreciate a private tour of the place a lot more, I think.
All right. Should I let Marianne in, then?
Marianne? Oh, right! She's been waiting outside the study this whole time, hasn't she? I'll need to have a little chat with her to move this little mansion project forward.
Please do.
There's a look of apprehension when the other woman enters the study. Yet, like a professional, I see the moment when she steels herself and masks her worry. Admirable.
We have this project then?
I love how they even spell her name wrong on purpose.
Of course.
It's
Will
Marion.
you be needing anything
but
from us?
She calls her Mary Ann.
Having the floor plans would be a great start, just so that I can look at them beforehand. And if you could tell me when you're available for a meeting so that I can include it in my calendar?
Oh, is a meeting really all that necessary, Marianne? I guess we can send Johans to help you out. You two can start by getting rid of this ugly painting.
Stop with that! It's not a painting, it's the fucking mirror, isn't it? A hush falls upon the room at my request.
What painting?
It's not a painting. And lo and behold, the painting is gone. In its place, a mirror stands, which leaves me to look at my own confused expression.
Odd. Well, no matter. Back to the topic at hand.
Ha ha
Come
ha!
on, dear. We are simply far too busy to meet up.
Or perhaps maybe I should... whoop, not load. Just clear your calendar.
But I guess we can free up a
Yeah.
day to meet with you.
Just
I don't really need another maudlin Monday reading about Maury anyway. The book club can function without me for one day. What time shall we be seeing each other? How does lunch sound?
Besides, my house is a high priority over book club. It kinda does. Why, we can hold the next meeting in its place. In this place. Surely the beauty and grandeur of it all will inspire spirited and lively debates about whether modern day writers can match up to the classics. I might as well clear out the rest of my week to handle whatever affairs buying this mansion requires of me. Yeah, because buying a house is a kind of a big deal. Any social activity can be put off until the Ermengarde, or rather, the Wright Mansion's great debut. I'll have my fill of great parties and gatherings, especially when I organize them myself.
That sounds good. Although, with a project of this scope, we might need most of the day to tackle your concerns. A more thorough inspection of the place is also preferable.
Breakfast then. It's a date.
It's really not.
All right. Monday. 10 o'clock sharp. We'll see you then.
Actually, Marianne suggested that we meet at 9, but who's even awake at that unholy hour? Me? My job usually requires me to be up by 5 o'clock in the morning. I was lucky enough to wake up this morning before Luke went all the way to Cardiff. We say our goodbyes, shake hands, and make it clear without outright saying it that we now own this house. By the time we left the mansion grounds, sunset is almost upon us.
So, you really want to buy this place then?
Yes,
That's a bit
apparently.
of a big impulse buy, even coming from you. Not that I'm complaining.
I feel elation when I hear those words from him. It's not every day one is able to please someone like Luke. He gives away false flattery to sway those who starve for his attention and approval. But in the privacy of closed doors, he would often express his grievances. He neither censored himself in front of me, nor spared me from his criticism.
You have been saying the penthouse was getting a bit too small for you. Happy anniversary!
Oh. That time of the year already?
He forgot about it last year, too. I understand that he's a busy man, but...
Is that why you want to buy it?
Yes. You don't like it?
I do. But I remember you used to talk about how you wanted to live next to the beach.
Botany Bay, Kent. I remember the sea, water that stretched on for miles and miles, as far as the eyes can see. As a kid, I loved our beach trips, swimming all day as much as I could. I was a well-behaved child, and the only time I was ever truly difficult was when I refused to get out of the waters, even when my fingers had gone all wrinkly. And even when they managed to pull me out of the water, there was always sandcastles. The day before we married, I told Luke I wanted a house on a beach and a dog. And a kid or two. None of those came true 7 years later.
That was a childish dream. Living next to the beach is so impractical if you really think about it.
I don't know. It's not a bad thought to see you in a bathing suit every day.
Maybe another time, love. We still have forever, don't we?
Take a beach trip, you're rich enough. He says nothing, only grabbing my hand and holding it tight, as we spend the rest of the ride home in silence. I miss the sea. Sick and hovering over the loo at 3 in the morning, the picture I paint right now is hardly glamorous. A horribly fishy taste is left in my mouth that's threw up what I had for dinner, and I hate the acrid stench that fills the lavatory. The burning sensation at the back of my throat is of no help whatsoever. I can feel another wave of nausea come up on me when the door opens.
Hannah, what are you doing so early out of bed?
Getting sick! What does it look like?
I'm fine, love. I must have just eaten something bad.
That's all I managed to say before vomiting again into the porcelain throne. Lovely.
Just go back to bed, Luke. I'm going to clean up here.
I refuse to look at him. I don't want him to see me like this. The last time I've had a horrible morning retching into a toilet was during my college years, being the life of the party. Thoughtless and shameless, I had thrown away months to frivolous merriment and pointless hookups. I didn't even retain any of the connection I made from that time. Sure, they still know of me and I know of them, and we still do business from time to time, but I've lost touch with anyone who I didn't see on a daily basis. I hardly have any of the friends I had when I was still Hannah Evans. Teachers, fellow university students, drinking buddies, and old conquests like Jack.
No, don't touch me, sweetie. It's disgusting.
Well, he's being a supportive husband.
I'm disgusting.
Luke sits down next to me on the toilet floor to hold my hair even though as I cough up more fish. He waits the vomit from the corner of my mouth and just stares.
Do I need to fire someone? I don't feel sick.
Just feeling a bit under the weather, dear. It's been unbearably hot as of late, hasn't it? I do wish it would rain.
Are you sure it wasn't those sweets? I told you not to eat those sweets.
Maybe. Well, don't laugh.
Well, I can't help if you make that sort of face.
He starts chuckling and soon enough he's in a fit of laughter. This scene happening next to a loo filled with sick just makes the whole thing bizarre. It nearly makes me start giggling as well. I try to stifle it though, as I smack him on the shoulder.
I'm not making a face, Luke. Stop laughing. Shut up.
When he would not stop laughing, I let myself go as laughter bubbles from my own throat, and I forget whatever ill feelings plagued me. We are just husband and wife, laughing together at a funny face. The little things in life. I let myself go because I know that these moments will not last forever. But if I just know the terrible things that are to come for us, I would have wished with everything I have then and there that the laughter stayed. October. Wow, we jumped pretty
Come
far.
on now.
Holy shit. Alright. 21st. Look for co-agent. Oh, okay, cool. During the open house, Hana pressured the estate agents to sell the mansion. The Wrights also met their interior designer. During the ride home, Hana revealed that the mansion is her anniversary gift for Luke. Things seem to be looking good until Hana suddenly fell ill later that night. And I think that's the last one for this. So it's gonna start filling up the more, So Luke's went up, Marianne's up, Ashton and Rebecca, Zachary, and Isabella we don't even know really because... Nope, not what I wanted. Because we haven't really met them? Yeah, hers seems super short. The place is bustling with movers, carrying furnishings here and there, along with several chunks of personal belongings taken from our penthouse. Luke watches him like a hawk, making sure nothing is handled carelessly or gets stolen.
Careful now. I know your pictures are framed by cheap plastic, but those are framed by African Blackwood and are one-of-a-kind commissioned paintings. Each one is easily worth a lifetime of what you lot make.
Luke, do the dishwashers go into the kitchen or the butler's pantry?
The kitchen?
Pantry, Buttercup.
What?
Careful, that's Emma No, you there, put that down. You do not manhandle a Napoleon Abueva.
I can sense the exasperation, and I had to send the foreman an apologetic glance. Even Johans rolls his eyes as he goes by. Considering Luke is always like this during a project, Johans and I have gotten used to it. Poor Marianne, on the other hand, looks a bit stressed at seeing the gigantic mess, before quickly going back to work. Everything has to be perfect, exactly the way he wants it. One little thing out of place, one little thing that didn't fit the image he clearly constructed in his head, and Luke gets bent out of shape.
Sweetie, why don't we go and sort your suits upstairs? Let Johans and Marianne and the foreman deal with the rest of the work.
We have this, Mrs. Wright.
Yes, please do go before a blood vessel bursts. Bloodstains are so troublesome to clean.
How do you know? Taking him by the hand, I laid him upstairs to our bedroom. This place has been arranged first so that we can get some rest, no matter what state the rest of the mansion is in. I am definitely glad I can just lie down on a soft, comfy bed after what has been a busy morning. Watching Luke act like he's dependent on getting this move done is tiring all on its own. And to think I have a whole day of this ahead of me. I feel the bed dip beside me as Luke sits down with a sigh.
Well, I can't wait for this to be over.
No one can ever wait for a movie to be over.
It's fun seeing you all fired up. Here at home and not at work, you know.
You know I can't always be home, Hana. I have a company to run, unless you've forgotten.
I haven't forgotten. You're the one who insists on being there to make sure each and every little thing is under control. I just really miss you sometimes, and I wish you were at home more often. Why, if you're not careful, I might go a bit loopy and I'll start bringing cats home. And soon enough, one day you'll find yourself going home to a farm just filled with felines that follow you everywhere.
You can still get a dog.
Oh, don't bluff. The things would shred up your precious furniture.
Get him to Claude.
Besides, you don't even like cats.
True, true. Dogs are infinitely superior, of course.
I wouldn't say that,
what
but
about the
I like
wet
dogs
dog
better.
smell? The mess. I'm not cleaning up after a mutt, no matter how cute. If you think about it, a cat would be better.
We laugh. Why not get both? It's not always that we can just lie down and talk about these sort of things. To joke around as if we're teenagers again, with very little problem in the way of responsibilities and roles. To hear his genuine, honest-to-goodness laughter is a rarity. This is just the second time as of late, and I can only see it as signs of good things to come.
All good points.
No.
I guess we could just have kids. That is, if you prefer dealing with soiled nappies and sick as opposed to dead birds, mice, and litter boxes. I've already told Marianne about turning the second bedroom into a children's room.
I guess sometimes I don't know when I'm crossing a line. I didn't say that I'm a good comedian, did I?
Not this again.
What? I wasn't being serious.
It's not something you take the piss out of. Having a kid is a big responsibility, Hana.
Yeah, we can take care of you. You act like a
We've
giant
talked
child.
about this, haven't we? I'm not ready to be a parent. I'd probably end up killing the little brat by the week's end.
What should I say? Let's see. You'll be a great father?
Family likes you well enough.
It went up again, I guess. The mention of our little goddaughter places a conflicted look on his face. Sometimes it is cute when he denies having a soft spot for the little girl. But then sometimes it's sad. It makes me wonder what happened to make him think so poorly of himself in this regard.
Yes, well, it's Kylie. The tyke likes everybody and, on the off chance she doesn't, likes them well enough as long as they buy her sweets. And sure, that kid is great. But if I get tired of her, I can ship her back to her father at the end of the day. Having kids of our own will be a whole different monster entirely.
I had never heard him talk about his father in anything but a business context. I recall Damien Wright. Kept hearing about him from my own father, even before I met Luke. The business world praised him for running a tight ship, all until one mistake led to a great loss for the enterprise. It was then that the news of Luke Wright, prodigy's son and successor to the old man, started to show up, and he aided in its recovery and growth up until the Great Recession, and getting a bit off track. Regardless, I had never heard him talk about his father like one would talk about family.
I think you'll be a great father.
There is a smile, no matter how half-hearted it may be. I do really think that. He might not be a good, honest man, but part of me knows that, and though I try to silence it. But I know Luke well enough that he will be a better father than either Damien Wright or Henry Evans. I love my father, but he never had the time.
If it is any consolation, I think you'd be a decent mother.
On the other hand, I had never heard of his mother. A silence settles, both comfortable and uncomfortable. There was familiarity in each other's company, despite the awkwardness that had transpired. The fences and masks down, without anybody else looking, we were both together and alone in this quiet. But a crash from downstairs startled us both out of our reverie. Luke lets out a heavy sigh before coming up to his feet and straightening his jacket.
I'll have to attend to that then.
Be good, darling. And watch out for your blood pressure.
He gives me a kiss on the cheek before leaving, while I lay there in a daze. Alone, as per usual. Okay. Aw, look at them! Alright, the Wright couple moved to their newly bought mansion today and was already preparing for a housewarming party. During a short break, the couple had a brief discussion about children. Luke didn't sound too welcoming of the idea. Alone, as per usual. I got plenty of time. I really should be used to it by now. I can feel the minutes tick by with me just lying there, feeling miserable and full of self-pity. I rolled over to lie on my stomach at this point, with my face buried into the pillows, and there's a knock at the door. Grumbling at them to go away doesn't work as a voice comes from the other side.
Madam, the photographer from Luxury Living is here.
Wait, is that today? Oh yes! People had caught wind of our new mansion, the very moment we left the open house. Luke had boasted he could acquire the property in no time, and allowed a photo shoot for an interior design magazine to be scheduled today. Well, there were complications, and it took longer than it usually does for us.
In a minute, Hansi.
Johannes, if you could at least make it through the end.
Tell them I'll be right down, Hansi.
He's probably thinking, the name is Johannes! That's how you say it. The mansion grounds has been one of the first things to be fixed up, aside from the bedroom. Although it's still a work in progress, it had a promising start, and I can already see the flower patches. Luke's favorite daffodil stands out easily, having been transplanted from the pots that used to litter the rooftop of our penthouse. While the movie crew thought that Luke was being hard on them, they clearly didn't see the landscaper on his way out. The man looked like he was ready to faint, and Luke seemed ready to kill him by the end of their discussion. Hey, it's Zach! It is in the gardens that I see him standing near the flowers in quiet admiration. He is hard to miss, the hulk of a man that clearly did not belong, and the big backpack and suitcase he has with him makes him look much larger. It is a peculiar sight, seeing someone who looks like he does handling little delicate things with such care. He looks up from the gardens and does a double take before a friendly face replaces his serene expression.
Miss Wright, yeah? Hi, Zachary Steele here from Luxury Living, ma'am. Hope you weren't
Hey,
waiting too long.
it's my man!
But it looks like you're still moving in, huh?
Yeah.
Thought for a second there my calendar was wrong and I came here too early.
You look familiar. Have we met?
Yeah, your husband was an asshole! I have a very wide social circle, so everyone looks familiar at one point or another. But one would think I'd remember someone who stands out like him. The struggle to recall must have been evident on my face as he quickly and kindly answers my question.
Oh, I was with Isabella, your estate agent, when she had the house blessed.
Oh, yes, that's right. Small world, isn't it?
Should have known you were Miss Wright.
The one and only. Welcome, welcome to Maison de Wright. And yes, we've been in the process of moving in as we were delayed, but it won't be a problem. They're just adding a few things here and there, and you should still be able to do your work. Where's the rest of your crew then, Mr. Steele?
It's probably just him.
Zach is fine, please. Mr. Steele makes me feel like I'm a mascot for a cleaning product.
Kinda does.
Anyway, I'll be your one-man crew for today. Don't worry, been doing this gig for a while now.
You must be quite the veteran to handle this on your own. We've had a full crew coming into our penthouse the last time we were covered in your magazine.
Veteran? Oh, your words are too kind, Miss Wright.
Hannah, if I get to call you Zach, you have my permission to call me Hannah.
Alrighty then. Anyway, I'm no veteran, but I know my camera well enough to make sure this is a good shoot.
I love him so much.
You can trust me on that, Miss Wright. Hannah.
I love Zach so much! Zachary proves quickly enough that I can, in fact, trust him. His skills with the camera and experience in this industry, at the very least. He is kind and courteous, listening and following as I lead him around the house. A really nice fellow, and he treats our household staff well, whenever we cross paths with them. I answer his questions to the best of my ability, and he is patient enough to answer mine whenever I get curious enough. For one, I ask what the bags are for. They are quite the magician's toolkit. From inside, he procured several items to embellish the interior with bowls of fruits, lemons, trays with peppermills, stacks of cookbooks, cutting boards, and glass canisters filled with colorful nuts and grains are brought in for a kitchen setting. Damn, he had all that in one bag? For the bathroom, there are white towels, seashells, and decorative soaps. There are other things as well, too numerous to count, all in that large backpack and suitcase.
Tricks of the trade. Softens up a room, makes a place feel more homey, and fills it up with texture. But you guys probably have better stuff I can use for this.
No lights. Don't tell me all of these are just props.
Well, I've got my tripod here. For things like these, natural light is best. I'll just have to set the shutter speed to a real slow setting, and as long as nobody steps into the shot, it'll look great.
Oh, it better.
We go through the rooms one at a time, although we first tackle the ones that the movers had no business in anymore. The ballroom needs a little preparation, with its grand design. Although there is some trouble at first, with the wide open space and the pictures being backlit. It is in the kitchen that Zachary's props come in handy, considering how Johannes kept the place so neat and sterile, one can practically eat off the floor. We carry on, touring the house and taking pictures where we can, with the exception to the rooms that have yet to gain any purpose or design. Too bad I can't take a sneak peek at his photos yet. Funnily enough, he is using a traditional camera. I didn't even know film still existed. With the way he speaks, however, I can say that he knows enough about his craft that I'm not too worried about botched photographs. I imagine photography must be cathartic for him, judging by how at ease he looks while taking pictures. There are small snippets of conversation in between the clicking of a camera. He even goes as far as to talk about these terminologies like shutter speeds and aperture when I ask about the technical aspects. You can't quite see the picture as it is made, much like when I watched artists paint on their canvas. But just watching someone passionately practicing their craft such as this is exciting in its own way. Going through the many rooms has been quite the exercise for the both of us. Despite that, he has been so nice, and I find myself putting on my best smile. But it is as we're taking pictures in the foyer that everything comes to a standstill for a while, or a moment, just a moment. And had I not been paying attention, I wouldn't have even noticed. It is merely a split second when Zachary's rhythm is put to a halt. His finger doesn't move to release the shutter. Oh man. Yet he also doesn't pull the camera away from his face, gaze still firmly fixed through the viewfinder. His hands shake and there's a slight sheen of sweat on his forehead.
Zachary?
No response.
Zach, is something the matter?
Well, lowering his camera, he blinks and stares at something behind me before shaking his head. Turning around, though, I see nothing that could have gotten his attention.
Oh no, there's nothing wrong. I I just remembered something, that's all. Let's get back to the pictures. Can you move a bit more to the left, yeah?
I struggled to respond this time. There's a sudden weight on my back and indescribable tightness around my throat. Everything stops. And everything starts again as I manage to choke out.
If you're sure.
I don't know what just happened. It was probably just a dizzy spell. I'm fine. And he said he's fine. What? I don't even... We continue at the same pace as before, although there is an unspoken agreement that we will not talk about what happened.
So, is this a full-time job for you then?
And we're just going to ignore
I just
everything.
freelance mostly, for magazines, newspapers, and events. So you can't really call it a full-time job.
About halfway through to her story already.
It's fun and it puts food on the table, but it's not what I really want to do. At least, not all the time.
What is it that you want to do then?
Maybe I've been out of line, sticking my nose into other people's business, but I can't help but ask. It's probably his making movies. Yeah, making movies. I regret doing so, as I see his shoulders slump and the easygoing air he has fades away. He looks torn over whether he wants to talk about it or not.
Films. Documentaries, mostly. But cinematography is a lot more difficult than photography, right? I was working on this thing, actually.
What thing?
Well, it wasn't really a big thing. People didn't like Blue Fonzie very much.
People don't like a film about colors. I suppose they would have liked Blue Bibby a lot more.
Very funny.
So, Grand Director, do you want to tell me what Blue Fonzie is all about?
He hesitates, but when I refuse to budge on the matter, he gives in and spills it all out. Blue Fonzie. Oh god, I cannot. Dark blue, the darkest hours of the Black British. Okay, thank you for translating. He speaks with passion of one who has gone through the very matter he's concerned with. There's conviction, knowledge, and experience in his speech. Why, I would have told him that he's an amazing speaker, if only I wasn't so engrossed listening. Prejudice and discrimination, in schools and in the workplace. Lesser chances for opportunity and higher chances of being treated like a criminal. He spoke of blacks and people of color in general, still being treated like second-class citizens. Boy, even that isn't true, he's still in a frickin' America. All because of the color of their skin. It is all just positively riveting. And sad. It comes to a point wherein he loses steam. He looks ashamed, realizing what he had just done.
Sorry, I just got so carried away and...
It's fine. It is really so fascinating to watch people talk about their passion after all. You should see how your eyes light up when you speak so fiercely. You do have very beautiful eyes.
Ooh.
Uh-huh. Thanks.
No. You're married. I want to say that I understand where he's coming from, but I really don't, do I? I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth, and I have lived a charmed life. It hasn't been perfect, but the difficulties I've been through pales in comparison to what others experience on a daily basis. I certainly don't know how I would have fared were it any different. Would I still have met Luke, and would he still have loved me if I was any lesser? Probably not.
What was your home like? These things you talk about. It sounds like you've... Well, I don't mean to pry, I mean.
Live with my older sister and my grandparents. We had a shop selling all sorts of things below our flat. And well, I was one of the few non-white, non-British students in class. I didn't get pushed around or anything straight up. Even then, I was one of the biggest kids around.
They were probably scared.
But a pencil and notebook would go missing, you know?
And they would say you did it? Oh, that I knew. Children can be so cruel Oh, they stole from you. They stole your stuff. Of course, it may be a slightly different story when you have personal guards. And the stolen item is not a pencil, but an expensive heirloom.
So what about you? How you liking your new house? It's pretty impressive.
It's nice, I suppose.
You suppose? Not big enough?
What? No, oh, don't be a bully. It's just that...
I understand if you don't want to talk about it.
I was a little girl, all dolled up and treated like fragile porcelain, with nursemaids waiting on me hand and foot. All the material possessions anyone could ever want, I could ask for on a whim, and it would be handed to me just like that. But I barely saw my parents. Just goodbye kisses in the morning before they went off to work, who knows when, off to who knows where they were needed to next. I saw them more often on the telly or in the papers than I ever did in person.
I remember my old house. It was a lot like this one. Big walls and big halls, but nobody in it. Not really. It makes you think how alone you are.
Ha! You're not alone in this house, lady. A pensive mood overcomes us, and there's a moment where neither of us are sure of how to go on from there. Things have gotten a bit too personal, yet it isn't wholly uncomfortable. Like as if we've been friends before.
Well, that's normal, ain't it? You just moved here. You'll make home out of it yet.
He certainly makes it easy to believe that. My childhood house is indeed a lot like this one. Just as large and extravagant, and just as empty. I hope he's right.
So, Monsieur le Photographe, you've covered the one and only Ermengarde mansion. What's next on the agenda?
The interview?
Boring. It's an interior design and housing magazine.
And they want to know what Miss Wright has to say about her interior design and house.
Honor Wright thinks she bought a magnificent house that she can certainly brag about. Blah, blah. Boring. You know what they should print more of? I watched an interesting documentary the other day. Bleu Foncé, The Darkest Hours of the Black British. I recommend you watch it. Those are the things that people should know about. What do they care if I use a purple or green bowl of fruit in my kitchen?
People,
I like how she's actually like that. She goes, why do they care? Why do people care about what I put in my house?
Oui. People are shite. What do you think? Do I look good with this angle?
I struck a pose while he's being busy, looking taken aback for a moment, probably not expecting me to just go and say such a crass word. But he recovers quickly, and after snapping a few shots, he grins.
Yeah, vous êtes belle. You want copies of these ones?
Yes, please.
She probably
So,
wants
the
copies
big
of
boy
every
knows French.
every photo.
You must have wooed a few ladies. Unless you're into gents. Either way, French is, after all, the language of romance.
That's what they say.
Oh, I don't know about quoting fancy poetry, but I've made lunch for a girl before, and they did like that fancy French cuisine.
Is it frog legs?
Can you cook your best?
I can cook just about anything as long as I know the recipe.
C'est magnifique.
It has been too long since I've had a nice and proper chat with a good friend. No, Lee is certainly not a good friend. And although we just met, Zachary is the sort of who can probably befriend anyone. He's just a comfortable person to be around with. I need a friend like Zach! Damn it! A bit too comfortable. The photo shoot went by a breeze. And somewhere along the way, as we talked and laughed, I found myself getting a bit too close without realizing. He'll give me this strange look until I back off. And he'll go back to asking questions after I agreed to do his little interview. And it's just odd. Well, no. Me being friendly isn't that odd. That is how I am. Zachary is the one that's being odd. Why, anyone else would absolutely welcome the extra attention I give them. He, on the other hand, looks almost flustered about it. He should be used to different personalities by now, having to deal with various people when he works. And if not, he needs to start. Perhaps nobody has shown him attention of this kind, but he's the big boy. He should be able to handle me. Girl, you're like flying too close to the sun. You're married, and if Luke finds out, oh, shit's gonna go down. All it is a friendly touch here, a pretty smile there, a gentle swaying of the hips as I move around. Uh-huh. But then again, maybe she doesn't know better. Zachary grew more red every time he noticed. Am I being mean as I find enjoyment in seeing him unravel? Yeah, perhaps. This went on during the interview and beyond that. There's nothing wrong with what we're doing, right? A little bit, because you're flirting and you're married. Zachary and I are just having a playful, friendly chat while enjoying the outside view. At least, that's how I see it.
I'm sorry, but I'm really getting distracted. Could you maybe stop doing that?
Stop? I'm not sure if I want to, though. Bro, he said stop! You stop!
I'll stop if it makes you uncomfortable, sweetie.
Does it make it better? Yes, good. You stop when they say stop, people. Let's do the tree. Yeah, we're like almost halfway through. Oh, I wonder what would happen if we said no. Holy crap. Oh, yes, there's a QTE, and that means that she's gonna encounter the ghost lady. So I know this is like spoilers, but still.
Sorry.
No, I should be the one apologizing. Why, you're a shy one, aren't you, big guy?
It's not that, but...
He gestures to the ring on my finger, and lets the fact of the matter hang heavily between us. Being told implicitly that I'm too forward is not a common occurrence. I think I'm more stunned at the fact that he pointed it out, rather than, well, being rejected. Not that anything is going to happen between us in the first place. Oh, are you sure? It was just going to be some harmless flirting, right?
So, you've never had a girlfriend?
No. No boyfriend either. You know, just in case you were gonna ask for that one next.
And you haven't even had your first kiss?
Hana no.
Not a one, ma'am.
Hana no.
Do you want to have your first kiss today?
Hana no! I can't help it. I really, really can't. I'm going to apologize lots later. Surely by the catty smile on my face, it is obvious that I'm just pulling his leg. The laugh I fail to contain certainly gives it away, if it still isn't obvious. But still, he lights up in embarrassment, stammering and sputtering objections.
You're married, and this will be extremely unprofessional.
Just a bit.
I never said I would kiss you, silly. Oh, Johans!
Oh, wow.
No, don't call your butler. She's Hana.
That would be for the better. I don't think his husband would appreciate it if I made him kiss another man. I do not think he can hear us from here either.
Oh, so, Johans is gay. Why am I not surprised at that?
But it is hard to think you're not taken, Zachary. Why, whoever becomes your girlfriend will be so lucky to have you.
I'm trying to
You can
hook him up
cook and
with
take wonderful
Isabella.
photographs.
I'm trying to hook him up with Isabella. I'm trying, Hana. It wasn't working.
Wonderful meals and wonderful memories.
He bought her cinnamon buns.
I can play guitar too.
You can?
What can you not do, Zach?
Oh my. Wonderful serenades as well then.
As your girlfriend or boyfriend eats by candlelight dinner that you made, and you will serenade them with your guitar.
Perhaps I can find a young lady who deserves a fine, strapping young gentleman like yourself.
Isabella.
Let's not get carried away. Besides, I gotta be going. It's getting late and I got someplace else to be.
And
A
I had no
shame.
clue where he's going.
I will be expecting you again soon, I hope. For a copy of my photographs, yes?
I don't know if you want to see the one.
Of course, I'll even deliver them personally. Just, you know, don't try to make me kiss your butler when I drop by.
Oh my. As fate would have it, the very moment the words leave his mouth, Johans comes out of the house. Judging by the slight raise of his brows, he has heard only the tail end of that sentence.
There shall be no kissing of any butlers under this roof, Danke.
But you are not under a roof, are you, Hansi?
To my amusement, he takes a step back, safely placing him within the threshold of the foyer and under the roof of the house. He's like, now I am! And just as ever, he is quick to return to his sardonic reply.
I am now. As I was saying, madam, it's about time for supper. Will I be needing to set an extra place at the table?
Oh, what? No, I was just leaving, actually. So, you have a good night, Hana. And you too, Hansi.
It was nice to meet you, Zach, honey.
Hansi.
You have a safe trip.
Oh god. He nods and the grin on his face as we say our goodbyes is the sweetest I have ever seen. I linger looking out for him with his relatively tiny bicycle, backpack safely secured in the basket by the front, and suitcase hooked to the back. I watched as he went down the path back to Anslem Village, until he is nothing more than a blip in the horizon. I cannot help the small smile on my face as I go inside for supper. Oh, Hana! Oh, Hana, no! Oh, no! Oh, you're falling. Oh, no! So let's see, we're gonna have a love triangle with Ashton, Becca, and Isabella. More or less, Becca is jealous of Ashton and Isabella, even though I don't think they like each other. It's just that they're really close friends, and she gets jealous of that. And then we're gonna have one of Luke, Zachary, and Hana, because Luke and Hana are married, and then Hana might be looking at Zachary, and Zachary might be looking at her, and it's like one big fucking mess. So, I'm gonna leave this off here. Oh my god, Zachary is amazing. I love him. I need either a friend or a boyfriend like him. Just saying. Anyways, shit's gonna go down, and Luke is not gonna be happy about it. Oh god. Oh, this is gonna be bad. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you liked it, leave a comment if you liked it, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye! But before I can even gather myself, take the first steps out of here, total darkness suddenly enveloped me. Oh. Ah! No! As if I'm hearing every horrid thought running inside my head right now, something snaps. A soft creak